Hello, Pete here with the keys tutorial, Chords, for the gig-based learning minimum viable performance, which is a simplified cover version of Satisfaction in brackets, I Can't Get No by the Rolling Stones. This tutorial is designed for people who've just picked up the keyboard or piano and want to get on with it and play music right away. By the end of this tutorial, which is actually much more than a tutorial, it's a music lesson and it's a song breakdown, as well as a guided practice session really. So if you do all of that, you'll be ready to play along with the gig-based learning band in our simplified cover version, but we'd love it if your mates were also learning the other parts from the other tutorials and you could play this song as a band. Alright, let's get into it. There are just 3 chords in Satisfaction, E, A and B, classic rock and roll. Let's break it down starting with the first chord today, which is the E major chord. Here we go. Now, before I break it down, there's a few different things you need to know about this tutorial. Up the top we have the treble clef. If you don't know how to read music, that's okay. I'm going to link a video explaining the treble clef in the upper right corner, or you can look down your screen at the other things. For example, the highlighted blue notes. It's going to be great for you, and just to getting to know the patterns of the keyboard, you can look there, or you can look as well as the note names and start to put some markers down. And it's good to know the keyboard. Where is E? Next to the 2 black notes above it thing. Bam. Okay. Over time, you get to know the keyboard by learning the note names. Very important. Next, you could look at my hand. It's going to help you a fair bit. But also to the right of my hand is the grand staff or staff. No, it says staff. Stave or staff. Okay. That's going to help you because as we're going into bass notes, all that sort of thing, it's going to be there for you. Plus, note names against each line. Check it out. E, G sharp, B, down there. Above it is the chord that's currently being played. Good to know the chord name as well. So lots of things to look at on your screen today. Feel free to pause at any time and look at what I'm doing. But let's move on to the next chord, which is the A chord. We're going to use that same technique, thumb, middle finger, pinky, row. It's called the claw. Let's move it up to the A. E, F, G, A. A, C sharp and E. A major chord. Next, the B. Let's move it all up a tone. Depending on your hand size, you might want to use ring finger or pinky. It's fine. Okay. Now, a bit different because your pinky's on a black note up here. That's okay. Now, bonus chord. Are you ready? Here we go. Inversion. Were you ready? I'm not sure, but let's break it down. Inversion is when we flip the chord. We're going to put a note on the top of the A chord, which is the E, down the bottom, and bam, we get a totally different sound. So if this is the A chord, I'm going to put the E, which is my pinky, down below. So it's the thumb on the E, then we have A, and then we have C sharp. Except this is going to be a sus4 chord, which means we bump up the C sharp a semitone to the D. That's called an A sus second inversion, also known as what you see on the screen, E7 sus4. Many different names for the same thing in music. That's okay. We move on. Speaking of moving on, let's get into the intro. We just need 2 chords for the intro of Satisfaction, our E chord and our A chord. Let's have a look at the chart here. We can see that we have E ////. Each slash is a beat in the bar. So we have 4 beats in total per bar. And it's going to be really important that we sustain our chords across the 4 beats. These are called semi-breves, also known in rock and roll as eggs. We're going to lay some eggs. Okay, so we have E, egg, and then A. Today we're going to be using our A sus4 chord, second inversion, and that's going to be an egg as well. And then we just repeat E, A, E, A. Alright, how about we play it together after 4 beats, starting with the E chord. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4, A sus, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, A sus, 2, 3, 4. Still just our old friends E and A for the chorus, but this time 2 bars of E and then 2 bars of A, hit the repeat sign, come back to the repeat signing pointing the other way and do it all again. Alright, let's play together, shall we? After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. A sus, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. A sus, 2, 2, 3, 4. And that's the chorus. The pre-chorus features the only cameo appearance by our B chord. Looking at the chart, we can see 1 bar of E, 1 bar of B, 1 bar of E, and a bar of A. Pretty much exactly the same as the intro, but with the B dipping in for the A. Okay, so let's play this together. Take it nice and slow after 4 beats. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. So quite a lot of movement around the keyboard. But just keep in mind that we're using the claw technique to get around. And so we want to locate where our thumbs are going to go, and that's going to make it much easier. So let's just do some work on our thumbs. Starting with the E. E, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. And let's add the other fingers and play it a bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. And you'll notice that's A major in root position, not the sus chord. So we have more E's and A's in our verse. Essentially, we're playing 1 bar of E, 1 bar of A every time we hear that main guitar riff. So let's have a look at our chart and look at the repeats, because that's the hardest thing, is counting and knowing where you're up to. So here we go. We've got 1 bar of E, 1 bar of A, hit the repeats line, back to the top, and we've got E and A again. So that's a full 4-bar section. And then we've got this other bit where it says 6X up the top. So that means play this little repeat section 6 times in total. So we've already got 4. Now we've got 6 times 2, 12. 4 plus 12 equals 16. Classic rock and roll form. And you'll be able to apply that 16, it's a common grouping, to other classic rock and roll tunes as well. You see it all the time. So to practice this, we've already played E's and A's before. Let's bring in another variable, which is part of all good musicians do it. They play and practice with a click track, also known as a metronome or a click in rock and roll. So this click will happen every beat, and we call the speed of the beat the tempo. We express that as beats per minute, or BPM. So I'm going to set my click track for 120 beats per minute, and we'll give 2 bars of counting in, which is standard GBL practice, and then we'll have a go at playing all of these 16 bars in a row. I'll try count along with you to help you out. Here we go, 16 bars of the verse. 2, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Move on to the first time. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Last one. 2, 3, 4. And we're done with the verse. So the breakdown features no keys for 2 bars. We've got 2 bars of rest. But then we're back in as the lead guitar comes in with a riff. And we've got our E's and A's, and there's a repeat sign. So just 4 bars for us for the breakdown. Those 2 bars of rest are for the drummer, tambourine, and maraca players to feature. Alright? So all we're doing is giving them a death stare, or looking at someone in the crowd, or having a drink, or doing whatever you want. So, very important thing is to increase our speed as we're going throughout the piece and getting more comfortable with the basic chords that we're playing. So, we're going to nudge the tempo up. Boop, 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 boop. 6 beats per minute up to 126. We're aiming for 136, okay? But, hang on. Before we get to the GBL band, so playing with us, or with your friends that were learning the other tutorials, we're going to stick to 126 for this section. So 2-bar count in, standard GBL practice, and here we go. We're not going to play the rest, you can do that in your own time. We're just going to go straight in with our E's and A's at 126 BPM. Are we good to go? Here we go. 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. A. Repeat. 2, 3, 4. We're done. Breakdown. The outro does just what it says. It gets us out of the song to the end. Now looking at the chart, we see 1 bar of E, 1 bar of A, repeat 4X. Repeat that section 4 times. The final bar, we have E, E on beats 1 and 2. And those little triangles that you see are accents, which for keys players means we put our body into it, more energy into the chord. E, E. Okay? And we can slap our fingers, but that's not going to be as much energy as if we get our whole body into it. So really moving towards the keyboard like so. Now throughout this section we're listening to the vocalist or singers, group of singers if you have them, who will be singing those satisfaction 4 times in total, and the syllable faction comes on beat 1 and beat 2 of that final bar. So we're going to be listening to the lyrics as we're trying to play this song with the band, and that's going to help us know when the ending is coming near. Now, we're going to bump the tempo up again to 130 beats per minute this time around, which edges us ever closer to our end goal of 136. So 2 bars of count in, and then we'll play the outro. Here we go. 2, 2, 3, 4. E. A. 2, 3, 4. E. Second time. Third time. Last time, here we go. Big accents. Before we get to the playthrough, a quick form recap. We've just been through all the sections in the song, but principally we're just playing our E and A sus chords, except for the pre-chorus where we add the B to the E's and A's, but the A is a root position A major chord. So looking at the handy gig-based learning form guide at the bottom, you can see that we've got the intro at the beginning and the outro at the end, but essentially we're cycling around those sections 3 times and that's the song. Alright, I think we're ready for the playthrough.